In this video, we shall look at a few review problems associated with gravitational potential energy. First, a brief introduction. Let's assume you have two bodies. Say this is a planet, and you have an object around a planet, some kind of satellite. The center-to-center distance between these two bodies is r. The mass of the planet is capital M, and the mass of that tiny satellite is little m. So the gravitational potential energy for this two-body system is given by the following expression. It is minus universal gravitational constant g, the product of the two masses, over the separation distance. And of course it is measured in the units of joules, since it is a form of energy. Now let's assume the satellite is moving around the planet like that in certain orbit, and at some point it has speed v meter per second. And let's say we are interested in determining the total mechanical energy of that satellite, E. We know that it is just sum of two types of energies. One is the gravitational potential energy that we have given above, and the kinetic energy of that satellite. Thus we can write the total energy in the following form: minus g little m capital M over r plus half the mass of the satellite and the square of the speed of the satellite. However, we also know that since this satellite is moving in a circular orbit, say with radius r, then the centripetal force on the satellite is provided by the gravitational force, like that, from which we obtain this result. Substituting this result inside the expression for E would give us the following important results. It minus g, the product of masses, over r, plus g, the product of masses, over 2r, which gives us the final result as that. So in addition to the gravitational potential energy being this, another important expression is the expression for the total mechanical energy for a system such as the one shown here. Problem 1. A small object with mass 8 kg is released into a circular orbit about Earth at an altitude of 400 kilometers. So that is 400 kilometers. You can take that to be the radius of the Earth. Let's call it capital R. Of course, I'm exaggerating the scale a little. Find the mechanical energy of the object in its orbit. So from our previous discussion, the mechanical energy, or the total mechanical energy of the object in its orbit, is given by the following expression: minus universal gravitational constant times the product of the two masses divided by 2r, where r is the center-to-center distance between the two objects. So let's substitute the numbers. Minus capital G is 6.67 times 10 to the power minus 11. And then you have the masses. One is 8 kg, and the other one is Earth, whose mass is about 5.98 times 10 to the power 24 kg. So of course we assume that in the problem the mass of the Earth is given, 5.98 times 10 to the power 24 kilograms. In addition to that, the radius of the Earth is also given as 6.37 times 10 to the power 6 meters. So we take that result, we divide that by 2 times the entire distance. So the entire distance is the radius of the Earth plus that 400 kilometers. So 6.37 times 10 to the power 6 meters plus 400 kilometers, converting that into meters, and you get 400,000 meters, which will give you minus 2.36 times 10 to the power 8 joules, or simply minus 236 megajoules. Part B. What is its mechanical energy when it is on the surface of the Earth prior to launch into space? That means when the object is right there on the surface. So of course, when the object is on the surface, the total mechanical energy is given by, again, the gravitational potential energy at that distance, which is the radius of the Earth distance, plus kinetic energy, which we can calculate as well. The gravitational potential energy is given by minus g, the product of the two masses, which is 8 kg times 5.98 times 10 to the power 24 kg, divided by the center to center distance, which in this case is just the radius of the Earth, and that is 6.37 times 10 to the power 6 meters. And its kinetic energy is given by half times its mass times the square of the speed, and this speed is the same as the speed of rotation. So the rotation of the Earth is given by its angular velocity or angular speed, and that is just omega, which is related to v through that formula. And we know what omega is in terms of period. It's just 2 pi over period. And the period for rotation is 24 hours, which can be converted into seconds in a minute. Substituting this result into there, we get that term. R is given by that number, and if we change the period to hours, we get 24 hours times 3600 and in seconds. Using the value of the universal gravitational constant, which we already know, that above line would result in the following number, minus 500 megajoules. So that is the total mechanical energy of this object when it is on the surface of the Earth prior to launch. Problem 2. If a projectile is fired vertically from the Earth's surface with an initial speed of 9 kilometers per second, how far above the surface of Earth will it go? Ignore air drag. So let's assume it gets up to a certain height, h, and let's take the surface of the Earth to be the initial state and that height h to be the final state. So the total mechanical energy is conserved. So EI equals EF. The total mechanical energy on the surface of the Earth consists of two terms. One is the gravitational potential energy, which is given by minus g, the product of the two masses, in this case the mass of the projectile and the mass of the Earth, divided by the separation distance between them while the object is at the surface of the Earth, and that is just the radius of the Earth. And of course the object has a certain amount of kinetic energy given by half times its mass times the speed squared. Now the speed is 9 km per second, so turn that into meter per second, it becomes 9,000 meter per second, and don't forget to square that. Now let's calculate E sub f when the object is there. It is the maximum height, so it doesn't move anymore, so the energy is purely gravitational potential energy. It's given by minus g, again the product of the two masses, over the radius of the Earth plus the altitude, h. So little m goes away. Now we know, or we assume we are given the two constants, the mass of the Earth, which is 5.98 times 10 to the power 24 kg, and its radius, which is 6.37 times 10 to the power 6 meters. Substituting m in here and there, and capital R in here and there, the only unknown that we are left with is the altitude h, which is what we want to determine. And we can calculate that. And if you do that, you get the following answer for h, which is 11,665,000 meters, or quite simply 1.17 times 10 to the power 4 kilometers. And that solves the problem. Problem 3. Planet A with mass that much kg and radius 1800 kilometers gravitationally attracts a meteorite. The meteorite was initially at rest and at a very large distance from that planet A. Eventually, the meteorite falls towards the planet. Find the speed of the meteorite as it hits the surface of the planet A. Ignore any kind of drag to the meteorite's motion. So again, it involves the application of conservation of energy, or rather conservation of mechanical energy. The initial mechanical energy of that system is the same as the final mechanical energy of the system. Now note, mechanical energy consists of gravitational potential energy and kinetic energy, so we can write the above statement in the following form. Initial state is the meteorite was initially at rest, so that means the initial kinetic energy of the meteorite is 0. We are also told that the meteorite is or was at a very large distance from planet A. So if this is the planet A, and that is the meteorite, and that is the center-to-center distance, if r approaches infinity, then the gravitational potential energy of the system would approach 0. So that goes away as well. So the left-hand side is 0. The final state is that's the planet with radius 1800 kilometers. The meteorite is hitting the surface of that planet with some speed v. So gravitational potential energy of the system is minus the universal gravitational constant times the product of these two bodies. First, the mass of the planet, 8 times 10 to the power 24 kg. The mass of the meteorite is little m, which we don't know, but that's all right. The center-to-center distance reduces into the radius of the planet, which is 1800 kilometers. So 1800 kilometers turn into meter, you get 1.8 million meters. So the first term is just the term for gravitational potential energy of this meteorite planet system. Now the kinetic energy of that meteorite is half times its mass and square of the speed that we want to determine. So equating this right-hand side to 0, you see that the mass of the meteorite cancels, so we don't need to know that. And using the value of g, which we know to be 6.67 times 10 to the power minus 11, we can solve for the value of v, which turns out to be 2.43 times 10 to the power 4 meter per second. And that solves the problem. As always, thank you for watching.